The road to Deadline heated up with last night's edition of WWE NXT, including multiple Iron Survivor Challenge qualifiers and a women's North American Championship match. Fallon Henley defended her newly won title against former champion Kalani Jordan. Could she defeat Jordan again without fatal influence? Wes Lee versus Cedric Alexander, Javon Evans versus Lexis King, and Cora Jade versus Sol Ruca were all qualifying contests for the Iron Survivor Challenge. Who would get one step closer to title glory? Stephanie Vacour and Julia looked to shut up Metaphor's Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson in tag team action. Trick Williams addressed the future of the NXT Championship, with Ridge Holland looking for a shot. Ava spoke with the NXT Tag Team Division, and Adriana Rizzo looked for revenge on Nikita Lyons. This was an exciting night, with many great matches promised. Hey there, welcome everybody to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. My name is Anthony Florio. I will be your host tonight. I am sitting in tonight for good old MF Michael Fletcher. He is not joining us tonight. I am joined tonight by the Phenom Michael Bullock. And let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right on in. And we're going to start things off with last night's edition of NXT from the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida, exclusively on the CW, as always. And we started it off with our first match of the night, women's tag team action, as it was Stephanie Vacour and Julia squaring off against Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson of the Metaphor. And the winners of the match in 10 minutes and 54 seconds, to the surprise of none of us, Julia and Stephanie Vacour picking up the win here. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. While this didn't quite reach its peak, both women delivered and teased a much bigger contest down the line with greater stakes. Jackson and Legend have improved tremendously in recent months, and it showed here. They stood toe-to-toe with veteran talent who let them shine. The right women won as they prepared for the Iron Survivor Challenge, but NXT should not lose track of Legend and Jackson as one of the top women's tag teams in WWE. And after the match was over, the voice of NXT Level Up, Blake Howard, served as the reporter. He asked Vacour and Julia about the Iron Survivor Challenge, and both welcomed the chance to fight one another in that match. I would love to see that. I really would. And I would not at all be surprised if both of those women end up being in that Iron Survivor match. We'll get into that in a little bit. But to start things off here, I will give this a solid 3.25, teetering on 3.5. A solid way to start things off. So not much more to say. Mr. NXT, Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get your thoughts as Stephanie Vacour and Julia defeat Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. 10 minutes and 54 seconds. I'm going to make a bold prediction right here and right now. I think we're going to see Julia and Stephanie Vacour in that Iron Survivor match. And if that's the case, then what?
Yeah, I mean, that'll be something. I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, to choose one of those two as a potential winner. I mean, we'll see what happens. But yeah, 3.25, 3.5, and you got to give it for Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. They hung in there with these two, and I'll tell you this right now, Florio. I mean, if Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, if they had somehow defeated Stephanie Vacour and Julia, I think this would put them right back in contention for those women's tag team titles. I mean, that's my take. What do you think?
I agree. I 100% agree with you. And had Jackson and Legend won this match last night, it definitely would have put them right back in the number one contention. Absolutely. How could they not?
Yeah, because if they were somehow they have defeated those two, how could you not ignore that? There's no way you.
That would have been an automatic championship committee moment right there, no doubt.
Yeah, it's a rarity where a championship committee moment doesn't involve champions, but if you beat some like a caliber of those two, you definitely deserve it. But this was the right outcome because obviously you want to give the two of them some momentum going into Deadline, which of course we both agree that they're going to be in that Iron Survivor Challenge. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. 3 1/4, 3.5. It's yours, Florio.
And we are gonna have let's talk about our first Iron Survivor qualifier match on the women's side. Sol Ruka squaring off against Cora Jade. Sol Ruka wins the match, 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Michael Bullock, a little bit of a shocker here. You thought that Cora Jade was going to win. No, Sol Ruka picks up the win with the Soul Snatcher.
Well, did you have him as well?
I got to be honest. I thought I was a little tough on that one. I mean, I didn't really know what way to go on that one. But
well, yeah. I mean, because going into this, I mean, when I first heard of the match, I was thinking, yeah, Cora Jade's gonna win this one. I mean, ever since she returned, she's made an impact, and I'm thinking there's no way they're gonna have her lose this match, and they want to give her an opportunity, but no. Sol Ruka, I mean, gets the win here, a huge win for her, and she is the first to qualify for the Iron Survivor Challenge on the women's side. So short match. I mean, I definitely would have wanted to see more, but I'll give this about maybe 1.5 just because of the shocker here, because like I said, I thought Cora Jade was going to be the one to win it, but no, they gave it to Sol Ruka. So it's yours, Florio.
This match deserved more than 3 minutes based on the talent and the action. Sol Ruka and Cora Jade had chemistry and were moving smoothly through this before the result. It was genuinely shocking that Cora Jade lost. She has been set up as a potential NXT Women's Champion since her return, including an established rivalry with Julia. Sol Ruka has the talent to stand out in the Iron Survivor Challenge, but she is not going to win in this field. Hopefully, NXT has a strong idea for the heel side of this match, with the most established non-champion heel out. So, I'll give it 1.5 stars, mainly because of the shock value on that one. Ava advised the tag team division to step up and earn a shot at the NXT Tag Team Championships, naming no one as the next contenders yet. Josh Briggs introduced Pro Wrestling Noah's Yoshiki Inamura as his new tag team partner to Ava. And the NXT general manager also gave Eddie Thorpe an Iron Survivor Challenge qualifier next week. And Nathan Frazier told Axiom he had an Iron Survivor qualifier. Axiom was furious, and then OTM also took offense and almost came to blows with the family. A lot of stuff going on backstage, and also Brindley Reese and Dion Lennox encouraged Carmen Petrovic to team with Ashante the Adonis for a mixed tag team match next week. A lot of stuff going on, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So, with that being said, let's move on to our next match, which was a men's Iron Survivor qualifying match. Wes Lee squaring off against Cedric Alexander. Wes Lee wins the match, 10 minutes and 55 seconds. Wes Lee and Cedric Alexander fought hard in this qualifier, though it was clear throughout that Lee was going to win. Even with the surprise kickouts, Alexander was never close to victory. However, predictability is not a bad thing when the right man wins. Wes Lee needed this, and he is now the clear favorite in the men's Iron Survivor Challenge. The disappointing element of this match was the finish. This seemed to indicate Wes Lee is moving away from the cardiac kick. His running Meteora did not look like a strong finisher. But with that being said, I'm still going to give this match a good 3.25 to 3.5 stars, to say the very least on that. Very good match between two very good competitors. So, not much more to say on this. Michael Bullock, I mean, this one, no doubt about it. I mean, we knew Wes Lee was going to win this one. There was no surprise here. And now I truly believe that Wes Lee, I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. I think Wes Lee could be the favorite to come out on the men's side of the Iron Survivor. What do you think?
I say, I'm going to hold off on that for now, Florio, because we still need to see who else is going to be in there when it comes to the men's side. I mean, I'll say he's one of the favorites, but I mean, let's not say he's the favorite, because who knows? You might have some other guys that could be in there that could also make a case to be the favorite. So we'll see what happens with it. So I'm with you on this one. Three and a quarter, 3.5 as well on this one. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on.
Okay. Sean Spears found Tony D'Angelo at his restaurant and challenged him to defend his North American Championship against Brooks Jensen. And then Zarya delivered a warning to anyone in her way to the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. Promo segment. We had the NXT champion Trick Williams interrupted by Ridge Holland and then interrupted by Andre Chase. And Trick Williams made a number one contender match next week with very high stakes. Here's the thing. The winner will challenge Trick Williams for the NXT championship, very likely at Deadline. But here's the thing. There's major stakes for Andre Chase. If Ridge Holland defeats Andre Chase, Chase U must disband. Chase U must completely disband. So there's nothing left for me to add. Michael Bullock, how about this? What a high stakes match. Ridge Holland, Andre Chase on next week's show. If Andre Chase loses, Chase U must disband and close its doors forever.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some high stakes here with this number one contenders match next week. I mean, Andre Chase wins, Chase U stays, and he becomes the number one contender. But if Ridge Holland wins, then Chase U must disband and close its doors for good. So I'm sorry to say it to all you Chase U fans out there. I got Ridge Holland winning next week. I mean, look, he just pinned the champion. He pinned the champion last week. So, yeah, that's got to make him the number one contender. So I basically got him winning this match. So as much as I hate to see it happen, sorry to say, Florio, as I give it to you, Chase U is closing its doors for good. And that will definitely make Ridge Holland one happy man.
Oh, yeah, Ridge Holland's definitely winning this match next week. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, what would be the point in Andre Chase winning this match when you're clearly building Ridge Holland to be the next challenger for the NXT Championship? After all, you had Ridge Holland pin the champion, Trick Williams, as part of that tag team match 1 week ago in Philadelphia as part of that big ECW show. Why in the world would you take all that momentum that you built for the man away in one found swoop? It would make no sense whatsoever. This was oddly scripted, despite Trick completely selling the audience on the match to come. In particular, it made little sense after months of turmoil and growth for Andre Chase to offer up Chase U like it was nothing. Still, the end result is a great sell for next week. The Professor's entire legacy is on the line to get the biggest title opportunity of his career. This match should be significantly better than the ambulance match these two had at Halloween Havoc, just by stakes alone. Trick highlighted Chase's work of putting over new talent in NXT. Andre Chase offered the rights to Chase University, but Holland only wanted a title shot. Later, Holland clarified that he would end the university if he won. And Duke Hudson, Riley Osborne, and Thea Hale questioned Andre Chase's decision backstage, but he promised he would win big. So we shall wait and see what happens with that. So very, very big stakes for next week's show. All right, next up, we had Nikita Lyons squaring off against Adriana Rizzo. Nikita Lyons wins the match, 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Yeah, we're going to bypass this one because this was a dud. I'm going to be honest with you. And it's because Lyons and Rizzo had no chemistry. leading to an ugly match that should never happen again. Perhaps a stipulation match would go better, but nothing worked here. A small silver lining is that Rizzo did look better in stretches than she has before. She just couldn't get on the same page with Lyons, who has struggled since returning. Lyons still needed the win here, as Rizzo has yet to show she is ready for a serious push. Yeah, we're gonna bypass this one. This was a dud. So, but we're definitely gonna address this, and that was the worst fight of the night. Also, by the way. All right, we're definitely gonna address this now. Javon Evans squaring off against Lexis King in another men's Iron Survivor qualifier. Javon Evans wins the match, 9 minutes and 34 seconds. Yes, 3 to 3.25 stars. This was not the most involved match, but Lexis King has rarely looked better. He guided the action along, highlighted by his strong focus on doing things the right way. Much like the earlier qualifier, the right winner was also the obvious winner, so this wasn't the most dramatic match. Javon Evans was never going to lose with his current rival already qualified. The best signs of positive progression came from Lexis King, who might have turned a corner in NXT, and this face run may be what pushes him to relevancy. Who knows? So, solid 3 to 3.25 stars. And Dante Chen, Hank Walker, and Tank Ledger gave Lexis King kudos for doing things right, but Gallus mocked him for failing. We'll see where that leads down the line. But 3 to 3.25 stars for this. So Michael Bullock, Javon Evans, he's now in the men's Iron Survivor match. So far we have Wes Lee and Javon Evans. We got 3 spots left, and we still got a few weeks to build this thing out. Right now, Wes Lee, and now you can add Javon Evans to that list.
And Javon Evans is looking forward to that, and especially getting retribution on Wes Lee. So we'll see what happens with that. But 3.25 for me. I mean, this was a good match here, and basically, after the match, Lexis King and Javon Evans shook hands. So, like you said, maybe a face turn could definitely work for Lexis King, but we'll wait and see on that. So, nothing more to say. Let's move on.
And we move on. Well, let's set the table for see if we. All right. I don't think they had the thing for. Well, we already know what's going to be next week. We already know we're going to have that huge contender match with Andre Chase and Ridge Holland. So, with that being said, let's move on to the main event of the evening, the return match for the NXT Women's North American Championship. The new champion, Fallon Henley, her first title defense against the former champion, Kalani Jordan. The return match from Halloween Havoc. This was Kalani Jordan's rematch. Winner of the match, 9 minutes and 24 seconds. And still, the NXT Women's North American Champion, it is Fallon Henley. Michael Bullock, no big surprise. Henley just won the title. It would have been a major disservice to swap the belt right back.
But she didn't win it. But she didn't win it cleanly, Florio, because
no, she had plenty of help. Plenty of help.
Yeah, especially with Jasmine Nix and of course JC Jane with the final blow that pretty much sealed the win for Fallon Henley. So I was gonna give this 3, but I'm gonna bump it down to 2.5 because of the interference by Fatal Influence, which doesn't really surprise me at all. But but I guess with Fatal Influence, I guess they have their own rules. Well, they basically say you make the rules, and we will break every single one of them to get what we want. And they want to make sure that women's North American title stays with Fatal Influence. So, but it was a good match here. I just didn't like the ending. So, like I said, I was going to give it 3, but I'm bumping it down to 2.5 because of the interference from Fatal Influence. So, it's yours, Florio.
I 100% agree with you. 2.5 stars for me as well. I will say this. This was significantly better than the Halloween Havoc match, which was more about the moment than the pure action. The first match proved the chemistry between Jordan and Henley. Last night is where they kicked it up a notch. Hopefully, the second bout is not the last. Fallon Henley could not lose here, but NXT has shown a clear trust in Kalani Jordan as a performer. She sold why she could regain her title while also making Henley look much more like a dangerous threat as champion. The promise of Fatal Influence is finally playing out as all three women have leveled up with the North American Women's Championship involved. I was going to give it 3 to 3.25, but I'm going to give it 2.5 to 3 for the effort. So that's really all I can say on that. And then after that, we had a brawl between the NXT tag teams, ending the show in chaos. So, yeah. With that being said, let's get into the overall review. This was about a 7 to 7.5 out of 10. This was a show of consequence, and it elevated the action throughout the night. The Iron Survivor Challenge qualifiers especially elevated solid action thanks to the real consequences of the results. The value of Julia and Stephanie Vacour continues to shine through as the two women elevated Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson in a strong opener. Fallon Henley and Kalani Jordan stepped up for the rematch and delivered a quality main event for the Women's North American Championship. Even with an odd script for the NXT Championship segment, Andre Chase and Ridge Holland sold why a rematch between them is must-see television next week. The weakest aspect of the night was the tag team division chaos, but the NXT tandems at least got a spotlight for the first time in months. And this was the kind of show NXT can pull off each week and should aim for to keep momentum on the CW. So this was a solid 7 to 7.5 out of 10. Michael Bullock, your overall thoughts on last night's show, and then we'll get into AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, 7 to 7.5 for me. So I pretty much agree with everything you just said. So let's get into tonight's edition of AEW Dynamite,
which was from the arena at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, Connecticut, as AEW continues their brief tour of New England. And coming off of the AEW Collision that was in Providence last week. So just bear with me for a moment as I get my... I had it for a moment, but now I got to get it back. Just bear with me for a minute here. Okay, I think I got it. All right. Okay, okay, I got it now. All right, just took a moment here. Okay. Set this up. All Elite Wrestling has been advertising that AEW World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley would seize control of TBS this week. So hopefully the network has hired extra security since his plan was announced ahead of time instead of it being a spontaneous invasion. And let's take a look at everything that happened on tonight's edition of AEW Dynamite, which was from, they changed the name of the arena now. The Total Mortgage Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut, formerly the arena at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, Connecticut, on TBS. And we started it off with a tag team match. Jay White and Juice Robinson squaring off against Hangman Adam Page and Christian Cage. Winners of the match, 11 minutes and 35 seconds. It was Hangman Adam Page and Christian Cage. 3.25, 3.5 for the effort. Fun and energetic tag match. There was nothing to complain about, but it definitely left room for other bouts on the card to outshine it. Thanks to a distraction from Mother Wayne and a shot to Juice Robinson's head from Kip Sabian, Hangman was able to score the win. This was a solid, almost 12-minute bout to get the show started. Hangman is still pretty popular for a guy who was supposed to be a despicable heel. And Jay White and Hangman have incredible chemistry. Everything they do together looks great. So those are my couple of standout moments from this match. 3.25, 3.5 stars. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Hangman Adam Page, Christian Cage defeating Jay White and Juice Robinson. 11 minutes and 35 seconds to start off Dynamite tonight.
Yeah, I'll give this about 3.25 for the... a solid way to start it off. Yeah, obviously thanks to some help from Mother Wayne. But yeah, but I don't want to like get into her after that disgusting act her and her son did at Collision. Yeah, don't get me started on that because I will go off. You know what I mean, Florio.
I do know what you mean, and no need to rehash it.
Yeah, no need to rehash it because, like I said, I will go off if somebody even tries to bother bringing it up again. So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. So it's yours.
Okay, let's get into our. Well, before that, we had there was a backstage moment. Chris Statlander was shown attacking Camille and Mercedes Moné backstage before putting them through a wall. And then after the break, Tony Schiavone interviewed Will Ospreay, and Will Ospreay called out Kyle Fletcher, and they argued about Fletcher's change of heart and being part of the Don Callis family. And it led to Kyle Fletcher challenging Will Ospreay to a match at Full Gear, which Will Ospreay quickly accepted. So another match added to the Full Gear card, Bullock, as it will be Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, former best friends, now turned bitter enemies.
Yeah, like you said, it's now a story of former friends becoming bitter enemies. I mean, and once again, it's that little stooge Don Callis that basically or as Gorilla Monsoon once called Bobby Heenan, that fountain of misinformation.
Exactly.
Basically, unfortunately for Kyle Fletcher, he bought into that, and yeah, way to go, Don Callis. You ruined a really good friendship here, and Will Ospreay is going to take it out on Kyle Fletcher. And yeah, this isn't going to be a match. This is going to be a fight between two guys who used to be best friends. And yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say on that. So, and of course, when it comes to that, Chris Statlander putting Camille and Mercedes Moné for that brick wall. I mean, come on, Florio, can you blame her for it? I mean,
No.
Mercedes Moné admitted on Collision that she wanted Camille to run down Chris Statlander with that car.
She did.
I'm
sure
like,
did.
I mean, can you blame Chris Statlander for doing what she did?
Not at all.
But then again, that's Mercedes Moné being an egotistical maniac.
That's right.
And
That's exactly right.
And then that's why there's so many people in AEW that hate her, that they're saying that she's at the point of go away.
Yeah, what a flop she's been in AEW, huh?
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
and I'll even say it, and I know Mercedes is probably would probably be upset with me, but I don't give a damn. Naomi's
not
having
watching.
a better
She's not
return.
watching. Just get it off your chest.
You know what? Naomi's having a better return in WWE. So you could have had something there in WWE if you decided to return, especially with Triple H being running creative, but no, you had to be such a whiny little bitch and basically said, "Oh, I hated the way WWE treated me at the end, so I'm going to a company that respects me."
Money grab.
What has Tony Khan done for you? Absolutely
not a damn thing.
Zilch. So yeah. Hope you're enjoying it, Mercedes Moné. You could have had something better if you had returned to Triple H's WWE.
Yeah, the women's division business would have damn sure picked up in the women's division.
But nope, Mercedes Moné had to be. I mean, her
money.
She all the
it's all
money,
about the dollar bills,
the
y'all.
ego.
Dollar bills, y'all. That's what it's all about. So, and of course, to put a point on, to emphasize Bullock's point, Naomi, look where Naomi is. She's got a golden opportunity this Friday night on SmackDown when she challenges Nia Jax for the WWE Women's Championship in Milwaukee. So we'll definitely have something to say about that this weekend. So, all right, let's move on. And of course, very good promo segment with Ospreay and Fletcher, and you definitely are. their match at Full Gear definitely has show stealer potential because of the body of work of both of those guys. So that's all there is to say there. So let's move on to our next match, as it was Lance Archer squaring off against Roderick Strong in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Roderick Strong wins the match in 10 minutes and 22 seconds. So let me give you my thoughts on this match. Solid match here. And because of this, Roderick Strong gets the opportunity now to face MJF at Full Gear because of that 3-match stipulation. Actually, I stand corrected. 6 minutes and 42 seconds was the time of the fall. I do apologize for that. So this was about a 2.5-star match. There was very little wrestling and a lot of chaos during this match. And like I said, the promo battle between Ospreay and Fletcher was great, and using it as a way to lead into Roddy and Archer was a good way to flow from one segment to the other. Strong managed to pin Archer in the crowd to win his 3rd match and officially earn a shot at MJF at Full Gear. So that's really all I can say on that. So give us about 2.5 stars for the effort. We'll talk about Adam Cole. We'll talk about how he fared in just a little bit. But Michael Bullock, big opportunity for Roderick Strong. He now gets an opportunity to face MJF, pending on Adam Cole's result, which we'll get to in just a moment.
Yeah, 2.5 stars for me. I mean, this was definitely a big win for Roderick Strong against someone like Lance Archer, and yeah, now he's going to be fighting MJF, pending the outcome of the next match. Because if Adam Cole wins, it becomes a triple threat. But will it become a triple threat, Florio? Let's find out the result.
Adam Cole, baby, squaring off against Konosuke Takeshita, the AEW International Champion. And the winner of the match, 9 minutes and 40 seconds, Konosuke Takeshita. He used the Dynamite Diamond ring. And Michael Bullock, that means Adam Cole is out. So it will now be MJF versus Roderick Strong in a one-on-one match. But a very interesting development after the match was over. Kyle O'Reilly came out, and for a brief moment, but then again, Ricochet also attacked Takeshita and also posed with the International Championship. But then in the ring, we had ourselves a mini Undisputed Era reunion briefly for a moment. Adam Cole offered the olive branch, but Kyle O'Reilly walked away. Very interesting development. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Very interesting, to say the very least. I mean, I thought maybe Adam Cole thought maybe he welcome Kyle O'Reilly back, but Kyle O'Reilly's like, no, I don't like what you've done lately, and I like the faction that I'm currently with right now, so you guys are on your own. So I'm going to give this, again, I was going to give this 3.25, but I'm going to bump it down to maybe 2.5 because, I mean, come on, Florio. He used the Dynamite Diamond ring to help get the win. I mean, Konosuke's way better than this. I mean, did he? And of course, obviously, we know where he got that diamond ring from.
Yeah, that other fountain of misinformation, Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Yeah, who's probably laughing his ass off now, thinking that.
He was.
Knowing that he doesn't have to deal with Adam Cole.
Exactly.
And you want to know what that proves, Florio?
It proves that MJF is running scared, and the fact that he knows deep down in his soul he cannot beat Adam Cole in a one-on-one match. Can anybody argue that point? Hell no, you can't.
Not even MJF can argue that point. And even if he does, Florio, anything that comes out of his damn mouth is a lie.
No, it's nothing but BS.
Yeah, it's
Spewing.
nothing but bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm going further. I'm far to say it. He's full of shit. He's full of misinformation, and he's a stooge. He's a clown. There are a lot of things I could say about him, but I'd be taking it up all night here. So this was, and yeah, I mean, and Ricochet showed that he wants that international championship from Konosuke. So we'll see what happens with this. So I was gonna give this 3.25, but I'm bumping it down to 2.5 because he had to use the Dynamite Diamond Ring. It's yours, Florio.
I'm bumping it down to 2. I honestly hated the ending a lot more than you did, Bullock. And as someone who, more than anybody, takes honesty and fair play seriously, I mean, I absolutely cannot stand for a finish like that. And I'm going to punish it even harder than you. So I'm giving this 2 stars.
Hey, I'm not going to argue that. Hey, if you want to punish him more, hey, be my guest.
I don't impress easy, pal. I don't. So you pull BS like that. Yeah. You pull these WCW 2000 finishes out of their ass. Yeah. So I'm going to unleash hell on it. I could tell you what I really wanted to say about it, but I'm not even going to acknowledge it. So, and of course,
you know what, Florio? Just go ahead and say it. Get it out of your system.
What I was going to say, despite the bad finish,
get it out of you.
Despite the bad finish, I thought they put on the best performance during the first hour. And they did have the crowd popping for every big spot. But Takeshita was shown pulling out MJF's diamond ring and used it for a loaded punch to get the pin and the win. I hated that it had to come down to shenanigans, but and it's a damn shame because on paper, when I saw this match, I thought this had potential to be something really good. And unfortunately, I honestly wanted to give this the 3 to 3.25, but I'm bumping it down to the 2 to 2.5 for the effort. So, because I take fair play and honesty just as seriously as you do, Bullock, and I'm not going to stand for finishes like that either. So, yeah, what was the purpose of that, really? So, it was an atrocity, plain and simple. It was an atrocity.
Well, that's typical AEW pulling the bad booking BS.
Of course. So let's just move on.
I mean, and the thing is, Florio, I mean,
yes.
what was the point of it? I mean, you were building it towards possibly maybe to see Adam Cole and MJF in the same ring finally, and then you go and pull this.
What was the fucking point? Seriously, what was it?
Yeah, again, Tony Khan being a total dick.
And just goes to prove that he has no business running the damn company.
And that's why WWE is doing far and away better than they are. Triple H is the best booker in professional wrestling right now. And you got a problem with that, Tony Khan? Why don't you come on here and try to challenge me just like you try to do with JD from NY?
Yeah, why don't you come challenge us? We're here.
You got a problem with that? We'll have a strong rebuttal for you.
I got a better idea, Mr. Tony Khan. Get some facts and come back and see us, okay?
But he probably won't because he's probably hiding in his little basement and like a fucking little baby and saying, you know what? I don't care what they say. I'm right about everything.
Yeah, if you were right about everything. Yeah, 5 years ago, you were right about everything. Nowadays, you're wrong about everything. You're wrong. Simple. And you wonder why Triple H and WWE are kicking your asses. Not just in money, but also in attendance and ratings and the whole 9 yards. Fuck out of here with that shit, please. All right. Okay, that concludes the rant portion of the evening. Let's get back into it. I mean, to sum it all up, that match was enjoyable until the god awful finish. It's bad enough that they keep making the referees look bad with these finishes, but this one wasn't even logical unless the referee is turning heel. Seriously, there was just no reason for the referee to keep his back turned as long as he did. But MJF and Roderick Strong is less appealing than MJF versus Cole, or even the three-way bout. And I still couldn't care less about the never-ending drama involving the current and former Undisputed Kingdom members. They've been doing this in 3 companies now. Move on, please. All right. The Death Riders backed their black truck into the parking area, and well, they raised more hell. Death Riders were shown arriving at the arena shortly before we saw Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli beating up JD Drake with a chair for no reason. Jon Moxley gave a promo about power before Orange Cassidy came out to respond. Mark Briscoe and Rocky Romero joined him. Orange Cassidy challenged Wheeler Yuta to a match next week, and Mox agreed. And as Moxley was trying to leave, Darby Allin appeared out of nowhere and dove on to Mox from the crowd. The Death Riders tried to leave without Yuta, but Allin dove into the truck to stop them. Claudio demolished Allin against the garage door, and Yuta finally jumped into the truck before they took off. All right, so that's basically all there was to say on that. And then from there, we moved on to our next match, which was, but a positive announcement came out. In 2 weeks, on Dynamite in Chicago on that Thanksgiving Eve show, we are going to have the return of the Continental Classic, the 2024 version of the Continental Classic. Yeah, so if it's anything like 2023's version, we're in for something special with that, because I thought that was really fun last year, and I can't wait to see them do it again this year. So that's all there is to say on that. So move on to our next match. It was Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, squaring off against Superbad Penelope Ford. And Britt Baker wins the match, 8 minutes and 55 seconds. At least there was no chicanery here, thankfully. But there did seem to be a bit of a chemistry issue, because we've seen much better performances out of both women. And Baker ended up getting the victory with the lockjaw. And the crowd was hot and cold all night. It was especially cold during this match. So I could give this about maybe 2.5 to 3 for the effort. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts as Britt Baker defeats Penelope Ford at 8:55. 8:55, time of the fall.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe 2.5. I mean, there were some chemistry issues with it, but come on. I mean, this was Britt Baker's first match back in a while, so you know they were going to be off just a little bit. And let's not forget another thing too. This is only Penelope Ford's, I think, 3rd match since returning from being out for literally almost 2 years. So you know there's going to be some rust with these two. So 2.5 stars for me. It's yours, Florio.
All right, Bullock. Next match was Lio Rush squaring off against Swerve Strickland. And Swerve Strickland wins the match in an even 10 minutes. Your thoughts?
Who won the match?
Swerve Strickland won the match, and he won it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe 3.25 on this one. I mean, this was another really good match between these. This was a good match between these two, but then after the match, of course, the Hurt Syndicate did a number on Swerve Strickland. So obviously building for that match at Full Gear with Swerve Strickland and Bobby Lashley. So yeah, 3.25 is my rating. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah, 3.25 for this as well. This was solid from top to bottom and had a clean finish. You cannot ask for much more than that. And then Swerve called out Bobby Lashley after the match. Lashley and MVP showed up, but that left Shelton Benjamin to attack Swerve from behind. And the Hurt Syndicate dismantled Swerve. And that's really all I can say on that. The crowd woke up and began chanting, "This is awesome." So, not much more to say on that. We then moved on to the main event of the evening. The next match in the Fatal 4-Way series. But the thing is, before that, we definitely need to address this. Renee Paquette spoke with Jamie Hayter on the interview set. Hayter spoke brief and said she was coming after one thing. But then the screen went black, and we got Julia Hart. Julia Hart was lying in bed with blood on her shirt from the arrow in the last video. Hart answered a phone call from Brody King, who told her that it was time to come home. She ended up putting on her witch hat at the end of the video. Well, it looks like they got some big time return plans for Julia Hart, and I for one cannot wait to see how that all plays out. So major business picking up here, no doubt about that. So definitely looking forward to seeing how that turns out. And all right, so now we move on to the next match in that Fatal 4-Way Contender Series. At Full Gear, we will have a Fatal 4-Way match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. We will have, of course, the champions, Private Party, defending the titles against the Outrunners, and the winner of the next match, FTR versus Malachi Black and Brody King. Malachi Black and Brody King win the match in 13 minutes and 40 seconds. With nothing left to say here. Fight of the night for me. Incredible match. Two great teams, and this was easily 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4 of a star. And FTR had the upper hand for most of the first half. Black was in the ring for a long time, so once he finally made the hot tag, a fresh King started cleaning house. And a very good match with an outcome that caught me by surprise. And I thought that was the highlight of the night for sure. So not much more to say. 3 1/4, 3.5. So now it's going to be Private Party versus the Outrunners versus Malachi Black and Brody King. And the winners of the match on Collision on Saturday night, La Faction Ingranable versus the Acclaimed, and the winners will claim the final spot for that Fatal 4-Way at Full Gear for the tag titles. So not much more to say here. Fight of the night, 3 1/4, 3.5, 3.5 to 3 3/4 rather. So Michael Bullock, House of Black, winning the match in 13 minutes and 40 seconds. And they go to Full Gear for a tag team title opportunity against Private Party of the Outrunners.
Yeah, 3.5 stars for me. I mean, I thought this was a really good match here. And yeah, I mean, I thought FTR was going to win this one. But yeah, I mean, Brody King and Malachi Black, they get the win. But a big win for them. Could it lead to anything bigger? Could it lead to a bigger win for them from over at Full Gear? We'll find out. So nothing more for me to say. 3.5 stars. And as far as my overall thoughts on this edition of AEW Dynamite, I'm sorry, I can only give this 6 to 6.5 for me, because I mean, look, you did have some good matches, but there were some very questionable booking decisions, especially that Konosuke Takeshita and Adam Cole match that that was the one that really irked me big time, and that just goes to show you the booking problems they have in AEW right now. That's just one example. There are some other things that happen here, but so yeah, I can only give this 6.5. It's yours, Florio.
6.5 as well for me. Tonight's Dynamite was promoted as Mox takes over the Superstation, but all we got was a standard promo and a short fight, so that was overhyped and fell short of expectations. The majority of the
That's
matches
the
were
other thing,
decent.
and that's the other thing too, Florio. I mean, they hyped this thing, and that's all we got for this promo.
That's it. The majority of the matches were decent, but two stood out above the rest, as bouts you should take the time to see if you didn't watch live. Lio Rush versus Swerve Strickland and FTR versus House of Black were both hard-fought bouts that featured clean finishes with the right winners. Full Gear is shaping up to be a great pay-per-view with the card AEW is putting together, so the next few shows before the pay-per-view should see the final few bouts added and the major storylines addressed at least one more time. So this is a 6.5 for me as well. I couldn't agree more with the rating. And now we have one other order of business, and we got some big business here. As we will be ready to start week 11 of the NFL season, and we are starting it off. Honestly, this is the most exciting week of games that we have yet, and we're starting it off right, and we're starting it right out of the box with the game of the week on the NFC side of the ledger. We got a good one. What a way to start it off. First place, sole possession of first place in the NFC East to the winner of this game tomorrow night. The Philadelphia Eagles, or should I say the Washington Commanders, squaring off against the Philadelphia Eagles. Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Amazon Prime Video. You know who's working that as always. Al Michaels, the legendary Al Michaels, with Kirk Herbstreit and Kaylee Hartung, and and this is their first meeting. I wasn't sure. Okay, this is their first meeting of this season. And just bear with me for a moment as I pull up some things here. Philadelphia opening up as a 3.5 point favorite. And of course, as we all know, not everybody has Amazon Prime Video, but only for the people of Philadelphia and of Washington and Philadelphia, you could watch the game on your respective Fox affiliates. So for Washington, D.C., you can watch the game on your Fox affiliate, WTTG Fox Channel 5. And for the people of Philadelphia, you can watch it on your Fox affiliate, WTXF Fox Channel 29. So that is that. Philly opening up as a 3.5 point favorite, as I mentioned. Washington leads the all-time regular season series 88-84 with 5 ties. Eagles won both meetings last year, including a 34-31 overtime win in Philadelphia last year. Washington's last win in Philadelphia was the year before, 2022. They won 32-21 in Philadelphia. So huge stakes to say the very least. And what a way to start off this huge week of games in week number 11. And so let's dive on in. This is a fun NFC East matchup on the Thursday Night Football window between two elite NFC offenses. Jaden Daniels has been outstanding on the road this season with a 77% completion percentage, 7 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Can Washington generate enough of a running game against a defense that has allowed just 100 yards rushing one time through a 5-game win streak? Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley keep the Eagles moving toward contention for the top seed in the NFC. Also, The Commanders' defense has been overachieving under Coach Dan Quinn, but they are still vulnerable to downfield passing. The Eagles have been hot with Jalen Hurts spreading and stretching the field. Jaden Daniels can answer with some big plays of his own, playing off his team's own strong traditional rushing attack. Philadelphia has a little more firepower to outlast Washington in a thriller at home. So, with that being said, I am going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game. My final score, I am going to go 27-21, 27-24 rather. 27-24, the Philadelphia Eagles defeat the Washington Commanders in what should be a very exciting NFC East showdown tomorrow night to kick off Week 11. So I have Philly winning 27-24. Nothing left for me to say except take us home, Bullock. The Commanders and the Eagles, the game of the week on the NFC side of the ledger, and to kick off a very exciting Week 11 in the National Football League.
Oh yeah, you can't think of a better start to Week 11 than this one right here. A huge NFC showdown. I mean this one here is going to really prove whether the Washington Commanders are for real. I mean, this is going to be a real good game. I'm going to enjoy this, but I think at the end of the day, I got to go with the Philadelphia Eagles to win this one. But would I be surprised if Washington wins this? No, I wouldn't be. It's because of the way they've been overachieving this season. So, but I got the Eagles winning. So, Florio, put a ball on this and set up the future content.
All right, we'll do, Bullock. That will indeed put the bow on this special edition of Wednesday Night Madness. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you tomorrow night, right back here on the Tone 25 at 10:30 for another edition. The Week 12 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday, headlined by Tennessee at Georgia. And we also have some other exciting matchups, but that is hands down the game of the week for Week 12 of college football. And then Friday night, same time, once again here on the Tone 25, another edition. It's the Week 11 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. We'll recap Commanders and Eagles. And then, of course, we'll get into the other big games of Week 11, including the big double main event on our side of the ledger, the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, of course, the game, the Kansas City Chiefs against my Buffalo Bills. We'll get into all that on Friday night. And then Saturday or Sunday, depending on MF's availability, the Cerebral Smack Talk. We will have Friday Night SmackDown. Maybe MF will have Collision in his Mikey's Mindset. I don't know. We'll see. But either Saturday or Sunday will be that show. We'll keep you posted on the status of that. And then, of course, we do it all again next Monday night for Ridiculously Raw. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Week 12 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday, this is Anthony Florio here for the Phenom, Michael Bullock. And in spirit, of course, good old MF Michael Fletcher. And always and forever, our First Lady of Talking Wrestling TXN, the one and only Twisted Angel Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Thursday. And until tomorrow night, for the Week 12 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday, you've been watching the special edition of Wednesday Night Madness right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.